If your business feels stuck right now, it's probably not because you need to work harder. You're likely running into very specific barriers like weak positioning, underpricing, or putting energy into things that don't move the needle. And if you don't kill these problems, they'll kill your business. You'll keep spinning your wheels and bleeding cash no matter how much effort you put in. If you're new here, welcome. I am Faris Al-Halou. I hit these same barriers building my first business, and over time, I went on to generate over $70 million in sales and scale that business to 8 figures and eventually sell it to a global media giant. So I don't want you making the same mistakes. In this video, I'll break down the 3 categories of barriers that stop businesses from growing and exactly how to fix each one. But first, let me tell you a quick story that cost me a 6-figure deal and changed how I think about growth. One afternoon, I was driving down Highway 101 in my black Prius, and I was reflecting on my business journey and how my co-founder and we started to do well, and our revenue at that time was well into 7 figures. Yet, I was still handling all the painful accounting, missing sending invoices on time. I was behind on collection. I was behind on my taxes and managing data entry into QuickBooks with the help of an intern. And to be honest with you, and that might make you laugh, but at that time, I had no idea what the difference was between revenue, profit, and cash flow. Accounting was taking a huge chunk of my time, and the system was jerry-rigged with Band-Aids and bubblegum. And I hated it. And sadly, I ended up so consumed by accounting, I didn't have the bandwidth to focus on a lucrative deal and ended up saying bye-bye to an opportunity with a strategic business partner. This experience taught me important and costly, yet rewarding lessons in 3 key areas of the business that later enabled me to break the barriers and grow my first business beyond my wildest imagination. I want to share these lessons with you just as I've shared with and helped firms like yours grow and scale. 3 areas to break the barriers of your firm's growth. The first set of barriers are strategic barriers. What led your firm to $100,000 in revenue won't be sufficient to get you to $250,000 or $500,000 or to 7 figures. The systems, the processes, and the things you as a business owner, the things you focus on, all have to be done differently if you're serious about growth. For me, a strategic barrier was that I was putting a lot of energy into something that I really didn't know, bookkeeping and accounting. It would have made much more sense to get professional support on this from the get-go. Now, for you, doing your own accounting isn't going to be the thing that holds you back. But let's say on the marketing side of things, let's say you've been relying heavily on referrals and word of mouth, and it's been effective, but you've exhausted your network. Taking the next necessary steps in marketing on your own would probably not be the best move for your business because it would be pulling you away from developing your service offerings or maybe your brand or optimizing business operations or any other more strategic activity that is going to move your business forward, which leads me to the barrier of failure to differentiate. Failure to differentiate from competitors and lack of niche focus. Let me give you an example from the accounting profession and walk you through a process that you can also apply to your own area of expertise, be it IT, HR, finance, or process automation. There are over 1.4 million accountants and CPAs in the US. According to the California Board of Accountancy, there are over 115,000 licenses issued. How do you stand out? They say riches in the niches. I work with an accountant who's very strong at working with service-based businesses and also with startups, and doesn't want to touch manufacturing and all the hassle to do with tracking and inventory. Now, I know another accountant who's totally the opposite. Now, they both shine in their respective area of specialization. So you can think of differentiation in two ways, vertically or horizontally. Growing and expanding vertically, it means going deep within an existing market or a client base. For example, you can go into a high-value niche like real estate, e-commerce, or crypto taxation, or advisory services like financial planning, tax strategy, or maybe fractional CFO. You can also look into programs to increase client retention and referrals, and then thought leadership. Can you produce content, maybe on your website, on your blog, maybe run webinars or podcasts, or maybe newsletters? This way, you establish authority with the knowledge and the value that you add to the people in your community. Those are examples of vertical expansion. You can also expand horizontally, meaning you go into new markets or maybe go after new audiences. For example, expanding into new geographic markets, maybe at the state level, at the national level, or maybe beyond. Or serve a new industry or maybe a new vertical. Startups, SaaS companies, digital creators, nonprofits, etc. Or you can launch a digital product or say an online course on tax planning for small businesses or accounting for the creator economy or some other vertical. And you can acquire or merge with another firm to expand services and expand your client base. So that was on breaking the barrier of not differentiating. Now, underpricing your services. Are you pricing hourly or project-based? What services have the highest margins? Have you looked into other pricing models, for example, a retainer model or value-based pricing? Next, tactical barriers. The way you conduct the business day-to-day. If you want to stay competitive, operational excellence will pay off handsomely. The first tactical barrier, lack of responsiveness. These days, clients are spoiled. They expect and deserve quality solutions and responsiveness. I advise business owners to use my 2-1-2 system. The first two is a 2-hour response time. The one is take the first meeting slot. When you have a lead and they ask for an appointment, prioritize and take the first available time slot. This way, you move the sales process faster, you close deals faster, and you have more cash flow. And then the last two is send a proposal within 2 days. So 2-1-2, 2-hour response time, take the first meeting slot, and send a proposal within 2 days. Now you might say, this is too aggressive for my company. I get it. The important thing here is to implement a policy to respond to clients' inquiries within a standard time. You don't have to go with my 2-1-2. This is not the important point. The important point is use your own formula. Yours could be 2-4-2, 1-4-1. Whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. What's important is you set a standard and you implement it and you stick to it. And over time, you can work on improving the response time and make the clients happier. Moving on to the second tactical barrier, inefficient processes and technology gaps. See, manual or outdated processes, they slow down operations and reduce productivity. Keeping up with our accounting example from earlier, I know accountants who are struggling and overwhelmed with doing manual paperwork and sending files over email, while thriving CPAs leverage systems to improve their own workflow and customer experience. I want you to use modern systems to centralize clients' information, workflows, documents, and billing, and find tools in your vertical that will streamline every aspect of your business. Moving on to the third area, mindset barriers. And we're going to end at the beginning. None of the strategic or tactical things are even worth mentioning if you don't approach your business with the right mindset to begin with. So here are 3 mindset barriers. 1, entrepreneurship is 5 times harder than you think it's going to be. If you don't recognize this principle, business growth won't be even a consideration because you won't get the initial traction to grow from. Now here's the opposite side of the mindset coin. Once you've started to get traction in your business, you don't need to think small. The same clear-eyed determination that enabled you to find and delight your first clients can also enable you to find bigger clients and more complex and lucrative projects. You have to have a growth mindset. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, said, "Life is growth. You either grow or you die." And in the context of growth, decide if you want to be a solopreneur or an entrepreneur with a growing business. You can still grow as a solopreneur, but you'll hit a cap. If you want to grow your business and have a lot of people, it's a different approach to growth. So decide which path you want to take and be aware of the different potential outcomes. As you stop thinking small, you also have to cast off your fear of delegation. Just as it was necessary for me to hand off some accounting functions to an outside professional so I could focus on higher value activities, it is also necessary to entrust a carefully hired internal team with more responsibilities so you can put your energy towards strategic, growth-oriented activities. The right people will not only find better ways to do a lot of things, they'll also identify all kinds of opportunities for efficiency, client value, and business development that you wouldn't think of on your own. And delegation is part science, part art. You have to find the right people, you have to train them, you have to pass on what you've learned, you have to have processes and documentation. I get it. But if you are not delegating and you don't have that mindset of investing in others and teaching them and empowering them to help you grow, you won't be able to grow. And according to a Gallup survey, CEOs who delegate posted an average 3-year growth rate that was 112% greater than those CEOs with limited or lower delegation talent. So you have to confront this fear of change, this reluctance to delegate. And you have to think outside the box, because doing things because we've always done it this way, or there's no way that we can improve, we're too busy to improve, all of that will limit your growth. In closing, the success that we all strive for in business requires the right mindset, the right strategies, and the right day-to-day tactics. Don't underestimate the importance of operational excellence to stay competitive, and never underestimate the value you offer to businesses and individuals. Passion is not enough. Skills and sacrifice and a lot of learning are required. If you want to scale as you overcome these barriers, you have to examine your sales process, especially what happens at the proposal stage, because that's where a lot of deals quietly fall apart. Most people treat the proposal like the finish line, where it's actually the midpoint of the sale. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to write winning consulting proposals, including how I use AI and AI agents to speed things up so you stop getting ghosted, increase your close rates, and build a repeatable sales process.